Let's talk about the disappointment of getting a new camera. And yes, I'm in that buyer's remorse phase. I got a new camera, it's not quite doing it for me. Let's talk about this whole thing, unpackage it, and hopefully help you think about what a new camera actually is in terms of business and in terms of quality of work. So for those who don't know, I shot with the same camera for over a decade. It was actually, a little bit over a decade. Same brand for like 18 years, and I went from Canon to Fuji. Not for any brand loyalty nonsense, not for any particular reason, just about due an upgrade really. I think after that long you can justify such things. There's a few little bits I wanted in there, but it wasn't a necessary upgrade. I could have carried on. You can carry on with a 5D SR. That is ample for commercial work. 5D Mark II will get you there for most jobs. Most jobs that are paying less than say $5,000 a day, the 5D Mark II will fit the bill. A 5D SR will do you up to anything worldwide, and anything bigger than that or anything more complex, technically in post-production, you might need something a bit medium formatty. But I went ahead and bought myself a new camera. It's lovely. It's a Fuji. It's great. I turned it on. I was all excited as you are. It looks new. It's got new batteries, new everything smells new. And the menu system's a bit of a pain. And that took a while to get the use of, Well, I wasn't really feeling that so much, but it's okay. We got round that. I phoned some people up. They told me what to do. I pressed the buttons. I did the things. We moved forward. Then I had some issues with tethering. That's a bit of a nuisance, but it's okay. These are teething problems. These are issues that you have when you're getting a new camera. And we worked through those. We had some other issues with flash, just sorted that out. There's different shutters. I'm not very technically minded. I got all of it sorted and I got the camera up and running. Now this might be more specific to my type of work because I don't hold the camera. The camera's not in my hands. It's on a stand. So the camera goes on the stand. It goes up in the air. It's out of sight. For all I know, anything could be up there. The images come through to the screen, they look lovely, but they did before. We do the edit, it looks great, but it did before. We deliver the images to my agent, my art buyer, they say great work, but they did before. We then bang it into a marketing campaign. We send that out to everybody, all the art buyers, creative directors, art directors, it goes to everybody, producers, the lot. They say, oh, it looks good. It does. It did before. It's going out at 800 pixels. I've got 100 megapixels. We've got 800 pixel emails going out. We've got 1 megapixel images going out onto Instagram and LinkedIn. It looks good. But like I say, it always did. So now I'm stuck here with a new camera. It's different. It's a little bit better. You can zoom in further, which is, not for pixel peeping, but for pixel editing. For when you want to mask something perfectly, being able to zoom in closer is better. It has better bit depth, so when you're moving colours around in post, it works better. But that final image is still the same. When it goes into my book, when I go to show it around agencies, it's printed on the same paper next to images in a 5D Mark II and a 5D SR, and they all look the same. Nobody knows the work that went into it. Now, of course, there's some great things I can do with the colours, with the editing, with the cropping. That is very good. But it still looks the same at the end. And this is the problem with buying a new camera. It doesn't change anything drastically. Anyone into sport will have heard of the term marginal gains. Marginal gains in sport are things like making sure you take your own pillow to a hotel room so you get a slightly better night's sleep. Marginal gains are things like making sure you have the perfect diet. Marginal gains are things like making sure breakfast is the same every morning when you're traveling so that you don't have to get used to digesting new food types. That's marginal gains, and that's what this camera is. It's marginal gains. It's not groundbreaking. It's not game changing. It's marginal. And I think having not had a new camera for over a decade, I hoped for more than marginal gains. Now, I have no qualms with the camera. It does a great job. It's a Fuji X100. No, it's not. It's a Fuji GFX100s. It's nice. It does nice things. It looks nice. I don't know if it feels nice. I don't hold it, but it's a nice bit of kit. But you'd have hoped over a decade would have got more than a nice bit of kit and more than marginal gains, but we haven't. Now, the reassuring thing to this is, if you buy a camera that's 10 years old today, it's probably still going to be of use in 20, 30 years' time because we're still printing onto paper. We're still putting it onto the internet. The output's not changing that much. We can still use these things. Yes, there's an argument to be had from a commercial standpoint to have high resolution for the work you're doing, but for the majority of you, that's not really a consideration. You just want better photographs. And let me tell you this, buying a better camera really doesn't give you better photographs. And obviously everyone goes, oh, it's not about the camera, it's about the photographer. And it really is. It really is. Going from a 5D Mark II to a Fuji GFX100, marginal gains, absolutely marginal gains, diminishing returns, especially as one's like the 10th of the price of other. 5DS to a 100 megapixel Fuji, even smaller marginal gains. Will they land me a big job? Will they be that marginal gain that gets me the next worldwide campaign I need? No, absolutely not. It won't do that. Will it allow me to have a slightly more pleasant time in post-production? For sure, which I love because I hate post-production. Will it let me feel a little bit more up to date on set? Yes, and that can also be a marginal gain if you feel a bit more confident. And I'm not going to dismiss the fact that turning up with loads of really expensive kit helps you feel good on set, because it absolutely does. When I turn up with 10 Scoro packs, 30 heads and 2 phase 1s, I feel like an absolute king. But it's marginal gains. It's not going to change who I am. It's not going to change my view on the world or my perception of what the world looks like. That stays the same. That has always been the same. My vision it's succinct. It's decided. It would get going in this direction, and sadly, we're not going anywhere else. But it doesn't make those big changes. And what I don't want to do on this channel is go, look, I've got a new camera. I've got some new lights. I've bought a lot of new stuff recently. In the last 2 months, I've bought what have we bought? What have we bought? We've bought new broncolor lights. We've bought a new medium format system. We've bought new lenses. We've bought new computers. We've bought new video kit. I've bought a new car. I bought a lot of things. But none of it makes a big difference. I sit in my new Mercedes, not new, it's an old Mercedes, but I sit in my Mercedes, and it gets me to work at the same speed that my Kia did. It's slightly more comfortable. It's a bit cooler. Marginal gains, and that's what I want to really put across here. Getting a new camera is great. It won't change a thing. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.